Well, multi-factor authentication was supposed to be the unhackable gold standard for authentication, but hackers found a workaround that doesn't require a single line of code, just a lot of persistence and a very annoyed user. Welcome to the show. Today we are talking about MFA fatigue and why your approve button is becoming a massive liability. MFA authentication attacks, often referred to as MFA fatigue or MFA prompt bombing, are clever, if incredibly annoying, form of social engineering. They bypass the technical strength of multi-factor authentication by targeting the weakest link in any security chain: human patience. What is MFA exhaustion attack? In a traditional setup, after a hacker steals a user's password, they are blocked by a push notification on a user's phone. An MFA exhaustion attack is the strategy of repeatedly and relentlessly triggering these push notifications. The goal is to overwhelm the victim with dozens of uh, approve requests in a short period of time. The attacker hopes for one of the following three outcomes. So, number one, accidental approval, that the user tries to clear the notifications and taps approve by mistake. Number two, the make it stop effect. The user becomes so frustrated by the constant buzzing or pinging that they approve a request just to silence the phone. And number three, the help desk gambit. The attacker calls the victim, pretending to be IT support, and tells them, "We are seeing a glitch in the system, sending you prompts. Please tap approve once so we can reset it." So that is the goal, or the goal of the attacker. They hope that you are going to be frustrated and just tap approve, or you are going to want to make the notifications stop, or they can pretend to be members so that they can deceive you into accepting an authentication request. So why does it work? Unlike brute force attacks on passwords, this doesn't require complex code. It relies on psychological pressure. Because push notifications are designed for convenience, they often only require a tap, making the barrier to a successful breach dangerously low. So let's look at methods of mitigating this attack that we are calling multi-factor authentication exhaustion. So number one is pattern matching. So this is the single most effective technical control, that instead of a single approve or deny button, the login screen displays a random two-digit number that the user must type the specific number. The user must type the specific number into their MFA app to verify the request. And I'll give you an example. In fact, this is what motivated me to make this particular episode. Today, as I was logging in my GitHub account on my machine, on my PC, it prompted me, it displayed to me a two-digit number. And then at the same time, it prompted me on my mobile phone to enter the same number that I was seeing on the screen. So that is number matching, right? So why does it work? So the moment, let me just finish the point. The moment you enter that matching number on your second factor of authentication device, it could be your normal authentication app, or it could be a prompt from that same app that you're trying to access on the desktop. The moment you enter a matching number, then the approval request is sent and you're able to log in on the initial device. Why does it work? It is impossible to accidentally approve a request while your phone is in your pocket, right? Number two, how you would mitigate this kind of an attack is context-based alerts. You need to configure your MFA provider to show the location and application requesting access within the notification. I have seen this with Gmail. Sometimes they will notify you that a particular device in this location is trying to request for access. So that is the perfect example. So why does context-based alerts work? If, let's say, you're in New York or Lagos or Pretoria, and you see a login from another country, let's say Somali, the red flag is much harder to ignore. So you have the context of the location and the context of the application. So you have, for example, if it's Outlook or, I mean, GitHub, I mean, I give an example of Gmail. You'll see a user tried to request for access in this particular jurisdiction. If it was not you, ignore. If it's you, then they tell you to give. They dictate further action, right? So the third way of mitigating this kind of an attack is rate limiting and lockouts. This is classical even for API-based logging attempts. So if you implement MFA throttling, so to speak, if a user requests more than a certain number of MFA prompts, say, e.g. 5 seconds in 60 seconds, without a successful login, the account should automatically lock for a cooldown period. Why does it work? It prevents the attacker from bombing the device indefinitely. Bombing, we are using it to mean you are bombarding uh, a particular endpoint or a particular device with attempts to get authenticated. So when we limit the number of times within a particular time frame that you can actually request for that kind of authentication. So number fourth way of preventing MFA exhaustion attack is phishing-resistant MFA. Here we are talking about authentication methods like FIDO2 and WebAuthn. So essentially, we are saying move away from push notifications entirely and use hardware keys like YubiKeys or passkeys. These require physical proximity or biometric interactions that cannot be triggered remotely by an attacker. The fifth and final way of mitigating this kind of an attack is user education. Sensitize your users, your employees in your organization. So you train your employees to recognize that multiple unsolicited multi-factor authentication prompts are an active attack. Establish a clear report button within the MFA app itself so that users can alert the Security Operations Center staff immediately when they feel they were going to be MFA bombed, so to speak. So to conclude, hackers are counting on you to be tired, to be too busy, too annoyed to take care. Prove them wrong. MFA is a shield, but only if you have patience to hold it and your particular solution has been implemented properly to be MFA exhaustion. Thank you for tuning in. Now go check your settings before the buzzing starts. We'll catch you in the next episode.